As you see, Beninois fans here in Kano, colorfully decked out as well. And that's the kickoff taken by the Beninois team. And of course, I'm not alone here. I do have my colleague, Mike Mayaki. Mike.
A pleasure to be on this hallowed seat close to you, Casey. As we go into this encounter in which the Beninois are trying to prove a point. Now listen, a 1-0 victory over Nigeria at home there wasn't a fluke.
Well, this is a fight between neighbors. It's never pretty once it's football. That's Ibrahim Ogolola, early enough already getting into the skin of the referee.
Yeah, on that occasion, he went in rough towards Matthias Samuel, that's the El Kanemi midfielder. But good enough, eagle-eyed referee here today saw all of that and duly cautioned Ogolola.
Nigeria chips the ball into the middle of the pack there. That's a ball looking all the way for Kingsley Aduo, but that rather came off his back and into touch. But Nabil Yaro, it was who had the final touch there, and he's given an early corner kick to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Rabiu Ali, he would drive this one into the 6-yard box, but the header will knock it out, and Ali puts it back in the mixer, but eventually Kukwere puts it clear. Good early pressure from the Super Eagles. That's looked really bad. Nigerian Premier Professional Football League top scorer Stephen Ode, he nearly had his Nigerian Premier Professional Football League top scorer Stephen Ode, he nearly had his head taken off by Charles Chabel Gomez.
But that was a clever move by him. You know that he had to win a free kick, and the next thing to do was just to take his head, of course not directly your face, but sideways sort of, to earn the free kick.
Well, he's giving away a free kick, Gomez, and it is Rabiu Ali. Well, that's Osas Okoro from Rangers International who drives this one in. He goes direct for goal, but again, Yaro is the man who obstructs what looked like an opportunity for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Beninois team in this early stages getting pinned into their half by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Everyone expects them to be on the front foot because they trail, having failed to score in the first leg. Samuel Mateus. The ball reaches Osas, and Nigeria keeps it going. And that's Hassan Ibrahim trying for a reverse pass, but that didn't come off. And Fasino will smash clear for Benin Republic. All the way to goalkeeper ARIWACHUKWU EMMANUEL, who gets his first touch of the game. Emmanuel ARIWACHUKWU in for the suspended Ojikalu Okabwe sent off in the first leg. Well, Kaluoji was sent off in curious circumstances. He picked up a yellow card during the game, and then at the end of the match, after the final whistle, it seemed that he spoke out of turn to the referee, who gave him a second yellow.
Some grossly amateurish on his part, more like a schoolboy. A captain is somewhat permitted to talk to a coach and complain legally, but he wasn't the captain, and you shouldn't talk to a referee or even talk at his jersey. That he did. No wonder he was given a yellow card, which meant he was out of this game.
And as one man the coaches would have liked to have, but ARIWACHUKWU should be a decent standing. This game, very important in different respects. Samuel Mateus had given away a free kick inside Nigeria's half, taken short, but ball arrives at the feet of Rabiu Ali. This is his home base. He plays for Kano Pillars, the owners of this stadium. He is known as a midfield orchestrator in the MPFL, and the fans who, of course, will be right behind him, expect him to come up tops today. He was slightly below par in the first leg, but a whole lot is expected to happen today for Nigeria, courtesy Rabiu Ali.
And he's got Ifeanyi by his side. Ifeanyi will be the grafter, while he will be the creator, the orchestrator in chief. I'll see how all of that pans out against this very dogged team from Republic of Benin.
Goalkeeper Steve Glodginan with his first touch of the game. Kingsley Duo from Lobby Stars trying to put some pressure, ball away by Ariwa, but it only arrives at the feet of Aboki, who smashes it in wayward fashion over the top. Gaston Humbeji, it was actually. I don't think these sort of boys will be happy in the knowledge that they are the first Nigerian selection ever to lose a game to Benin Republic. So very imperative for them today to punish Benin, sort of, in revenge.
I like your use of English punish, but then you do have to earn a result on the pitch. I think that's what they are meant to do. And then, by the way, records are meant to be broken. At some point, that record will definitely be broken, and that was what happened about a week ago in Benin Republic.
And that's the poor control from Kingsley Eduo. Ball ran right up his body and up his arm, and the free kick will be taken for Benin Republic by Mama Bayere. Header again is from Ariwa. Benin does look like they're here for business. Benin Republic defeated Togo on penalties after they won 1-0 in the second leg, having lost 1-0 in the first.
Ifeanyi infringing upon Bayere on this occasion. Like I did say, Ifeanyi with the grafter in the midfield, and there he is doing his job. Former MFM midfielder, now plays for Aqua United.
He seems to be playing a little bit too deep. So at least in these early stages, we know him to be a man who likes looking forward. This is the first moment of tension in the defense of Nigeria. The man to drive in the free kick is Dino. Okay, that's actually Sebu Mama, the captain. He got the goal in the first leg, and the final header was from Degnon Kukpo. Good pressure from Emmanuel ARIWACHUKWU.
Steven is on the ball now, trying to push out. This kid's rise to fame amuses me. It surprises me because Dominic Ayofa, the former vice chairman of Lobby, saw him playing.
But that's a chance for Nigeria, and it was smashed goalwards. That was from a duo, but straight down the throat of Glodginan. It didn't have a lot of power behind it. He got the direction right, but power was lacking.
Clever footwork there. Finally touched by Rabiu, but then not much power there. The friction there wasn't much. Not much. He couldn't strike it. He couldn't get clean. Talking about Kingsley Eduo.
Well, Nigeria away down the left one more time. Inside the penalty area, but ball given away, not for the first time. Eduo is lucky to get it back. And there are lots of wayward passes coming from the Nigerian midfield. They need to be a lot more incisive. The only shot on target so far coming from Eduo came after some great passes were swapped in the final third. Ariwa, Matthias. Great footwork from Al-Hassan Ibrahim. Ifeanyi. Looking for the run of Ibrahim. Nigeria beginning to string the passes together. It's the wing-back, Osa Sokoro. The fans are beginning to appreciate now. I think they need to settle this down. That's the way it's done. And it is Eduo again, cutting in from the left, but again, he gives away the ball. I think while Eduo might be a great striker, I don't think he is a pass master.
He certainly isn't, but then the coaches perhaps were most impressed about his ability to have that experience of an experienced attacker, which Ode really doesn't have. Perhaps that's the reason for playing him. And at some point, I expect him to justify this. Because in his clubs at Lobby, he scored a few useful goals this season.
Some have asked the question why Lobby's top scorer wasn't isn't in this team, but well, the managers know exactly why they want certain players in their team.
Well, Tony Okotu might not be in the team, but then he's done it the most professional way, letting his foot do the talking for him by scoring goals, and that's where a good player does it. So let's see what becomes of Tony as we see a wayward pass. Poor first touch there by Stephen Ode, presently the league's deadliest marksman.
Yeah, he's been gone off the boil a little in the last couple of weeks. Not bagged the goal in 3 games now. It's 10 minutes. Right here at the Kano, at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. 2018 Championship for African Nations qualifier is Nigeria nil, Benin Republic nil. Glodgenon, he kept a clean sheet in the first leg. Eze will simply shadow this one into touch.
I was talking about Eze, who just shadowed that ball into touch. Dominic saw him playing football in the park in Makodi and felt this kid had potentials. Drafted him to the junior lobby team. In no time, he was a member of the senior team. The first time I saw him play at the old Uyo Stadium, I felt this was a kid for the future. But then, as progressive as he was, he felt Sunshine Stars was his next abode. He presently plays for Fine Yuba. But good to know he's developing in the game.
But that's a free kick given away by Benin Republic. Rabi Ali was trying to take that one quickly. Instead, he elects to go back to Ifeanyi, who finds the run of Samuel Matias. Another wayward pass. Eventually into touch. I think the Super Eagles, they need to keep it calm, take it easy. They're trying to quickly get in the opposition's 18-yard box, and I think the quick nature of the passing is making them give away too many passes. But Mike, it's got to be victory by more than 1 goal today, else.
And I think it's achievable. They have it in them. This is just the first rush period. Once they settle down, they start crossing the I's and dotting the T's. I mean, it really will not take time. I have the confidence in this lads to do it once they start firing.
A Nigerian assistant coach, Imama Mapakabo, very frantic on the touchline there. This could be a tactic that could be useful to the away team today, Benin Republic. He was looking for the free kick and got it.
Yeah, Degnon Koko on that occasion, he played for it, wanting to buy time. Normally in football, if your opposing team is having the rhythm, you need to break their rhythm. You know, cause some commotion, sort of, create a fall, and that was what Koko just did there, to perhaps slow down the rhythm of the Eagles.
Emmanuel ARIWACHUKWU back to centre-back partner Stephen Eze. Samuel Matias from El Kanemi Warriors looking for ARIWACHUKWU, who finds Chima Akas. Akas tips the ball forward to an opponent. It's been the bane of Nigeria going forward here. Wayward passes, they need to get that worked on quickly. Now they can produce something here. It is Al-Hassan Ibrahim. A cross is required here. Osaso Korova cooks it, and the ball will roll out on the far side. Osaso Korova, of course, a converted right back.
Wonderful understanding here between Al-Hassan Muazzam and Osade Bame Okoro, as they call him. That's a Benin name, which literally means Osade, my God is beside me. And with God that moment, they have sort of deserted me a little, because that wasn't pinpoint on that occasion.
Smacked away emphatically by Waris Aboki. Nigeria just looking for a way through these massed ranks of yellow-shirted players at the base of the penalty arc of Benin Republic.
Chima Akas with that throw. In time past, he used to be a marauding wing back. You know, in the mode of Max Nojobo. But of late, he's been kind of quiet.
But the ball chipped forward by Rabiu Ali, but that's not going to be any problem for goalkeeper Steve Glodgenon. Just holding off Kingsley Eduo there. Eduo fired blanks in the first leg, where Nigeria, it has to be said, were rather below par. The only goal of that encounter coming after Afiza Remu, who is on the bench today, despite an impressive performance, gave away a penalty with just 1 minute of regulation time left. That's fantastic turn at the back for Benin Republic, smashing the ball into the center circle. Nigeria should regain possession, but Ariwa couldn't hang on to that, and it's the Beninois who come marauding forward now. Nigeria a chance to break. It is Ifeanyi, but he's taking the sting out of that counter-attack. And it is a duo into the 18-yard box, but slipped at the wrong moment, and the chance goes begging. The Beninois with a chance to attack down the left, but Osai Sokoro says no to that. And a quarter of an hour gone, and just the one chance that arrived for Eduo. He may not be scoring much, Eduo, but he does get into good positions. Some great skill shown there by Rabiu Ali.
No surprise they call him Pele in these climbs.
And Hassan Ibrahim again looks for this time. He was looking for Stephen Ode, but Ode lost his footing. Waris Aboki, he does appear to have quite a left foot on him. Assistant coach of the Super Eagles, Mama Mapakabo. Osai Sokoro, well, he can hit them in. Muazzam, as Al-Hassan Ibrahim is called, it looks like he can cause quite a bit of a problem for the men in yellow. Great reverse pass from Osai Sokoro. And one more time, Al-Hassan Ibrahim gets a throw of a Beninois leg. And this time the ball chipped into the edge of the 6-yard box. A header called for, but that was a wickish one from Eduo.
Well, poor communication there between the Super Eagles attackers there. Eduo should have spoken or communicated better with Stevie Nodi on that occasion, and perhaps they might have achieved better results.
Samuel Matthias. Great turn from Ifeanyi. Stephen Eze going route 1. Can he pick out the run of Eduo? Yes. Can Eduo keep that in? He manages beautifully, not just to keep it in, but to get a corner kick as well for the Super Eagles. That was great running and great thinking to do what he did.
Good agility on the part of the veteran. Pretty intelligent on that occasion. He turned swiftly and 2 corner kicks to the Eagles, while none to their Beninois counterparts. Hope one of these will result into a goal.
Well, the first one was quite easily dealt with in the 2nd minute, but the Super Eagles, they do have several tall characters inside that penalty box. Stephen Eze, a major threat. Al-Hassan Ibrahim, another. Rabiu Ali as well, have been known to put them in the back of the net via his head. Nigeria with a clear advantage in terms of height. Stephen Ode accused of obstructing goalkeeper Steve Glodgenon. The sun appears to be in his face. Can Nigeria take advantage? But the header there is from Emmanuel Ariwa, and his header is off target.
ARIWACHUKWU has always been a marked man. Now, in the few seconds before that corner was taken, the referee was quick to speak with him alongside his opposing defender. But on this occasion, he had a clean strike at goal. Perhaps it would have been better directed.
Well, I think Osai Sokoro's corner was actually looking for ARIWACHUKWU, who was on the near post. I think there were taller players right on the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a Degnon Kogbo, who gave away a free kick. Nigeria moving forward again, swapping passes beautifully. Osai Sokoro walking wonderfully with Muazzam down this right side, and that was well driven in by Hassan Ibrahim. I thought that was headed over the crossbar, but it was rather headed for the goal mouth, but Glodjinan was alive to the danger.
Al-Hassan Ibrahim, they call him Muazzam in these parts. I see supporters of the Liverpool cheering their team on. That's the spirit. Your team does not need to score before you support them. Keep the support on. That might propel them to turn the support into goals.
Rabiu Ali, good turn, and he puts it right on the plate, almost for Stephen Ode, but he can't clear the first defender, who acrobatically gets rid of the danger. Header returns it from Eze, and he takes it in, shoots. That was close from Kingsley Eduo, and Nigeria beginning to turn the screws now on the Squirrels. Eduo's had himself a handful of chances already in his first half, but it's the direction that's the problem.
Yeah, poorly directed on this occasion, but he held up his defender. Now talking about Dine Kupere. Now that was power, that was strength holding up the defender. Unfortunately, he couldn't direct his shot at goal.
That was too casually done by Al-Hassan Ibrahim, and it is Degnan with an opportunity there. Puts it out, but a shot returns it, and a deflection rather makes it easy for ARIWACHUKWU Emmanuel. The Beninois team, tinkered by former legend Omar Tomogo. That was some great skill. Can Nigeria take advantage? That is in the net. That is her boy, Rabiu Ali, who scoops it beyond. Oh! In the 22nd minute, and the stadium goes haywire. It is the Super Eagles of Nigeria who have the lead here, and they are level on aggregate, and the fans are standing.
The script couldn't have been better written. Homeboy Rabiu Ali, the man they call Pele, who transformed that move into a goal. We know that he knows practically every blade of grass on this pitch. Now he's practicalized that. What about this for a clever move? Now the Beninois were asking for an offside position. He wasn't, well, the man that buried it actually did not interfere with play. I thought he was played onside, and he cleverly disregarded everything, went in off that pass from Muazzam, and buried the ball. Pass goalkeeper Steve Glodjinan for the first goal for the Eagles here today.
Well, I think the crucial touch there had to come from Stephen Ode. That turn was absolutely fantastic. He turned his marker inside out and had the presence of mind to play the ball straight up into the path of a duo, but Rabiu Ali took responsibility and buried that ball beyond the Steve Glodjinan. And it's Nigeria who've got the advantage after 22 minutes right here at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Now a rip-roaring arena. You can still see some fans coming in, but we hardly have any empty. Well, we do have some few empty seats to our left, and here Nigeria go again. At least as far as the fans here are concerned, that is the Super Eagles level on aggregate, and there they go down the left with the delivery. Very, very poor indeed.
But Casey, the good thing for me about this is that the Eagles look like a coach team. They look like a team that has been playing together. You see them treading passes. Now what about this? No panic on the part of Coach Salisu Yusuf here, because his boy is actually doing the work, carrying it. They might not have got tons of goals in the first 21 minutes of this match, but they've got the needed equalizer, so to say, so that scores on aggregate will be 1-1. Hopefully, they'll step up the gear and score more goals.
More goals, exactly. That's what the Nigerians need here. All the way back to ARIWACHUKWU Emmanuel. Now, in the history of this competition, Nigeria failed to qualify for the opening two editions in Cote d'Ivoire in 2009 and in Sudan in 2011. But they qualified for the next edition in South Africa in 2014 after they defeated Cote d'Ivoire 4-3 on aggregate. They've beaten Cote d'Ivoire 4-1 in Kaduna and losing 2-0 in Abidjan. Last time out, Nigeria beat Burkina Faso 2-0 in Port Harcourt and drew goalless to qualify for Rwanda 2016. But this time around, that's some great skill shown there by Chabel Gomez, and it's a free kick for the Squirrels.
He got the better of Osas Okoro on that occasion. Osas couldn't do better than hurling him back. Osas from a footballing family. Now what about this from definitely skillfully weaving his way past Ifeanyi as well as a tugging Osas Okoro, earning for his team a free kick on that occasion.
Well, I think Osas did the right thing there because if Gomez had got beyond both Nigerian defenders, he was through on, well, he had a straight route to goal, so to speak. You can see the Nigerian defenders towering above the attacking Squirrels. ARIWACHUKWU Emmanuel, he's got to concentrate. It is a ball chipped to the edge of the 6-yard box. That wasn't going to be any problem. ARIWACHUKWU in a tussle with Deknon Kukbo, who is claiming they've tried to gouge out his eyes. Kukbo and Ifeanyi getting a talking to from referee Wakine Sono from Equatorial Guinea. Eze. Ifeanyi looking, assessing options up front. That's quite a long one. Good of Edouard to keep that in play. Not for the first time. Osas Okoro will pick it up deep into the Beninoa half. Ifeanyi. Skilled midfielder. Eventually that move breaks down and Nigeria will have to build again. Eze finds Osas, who loses possession. And that is Gomez. But this time, the skill for Gomez doesn't work out. And superbly marshaled away from danger by Stephen Eze, the FC Ifeanyi dependable centre-back.
Not too surprised about the progress of that kid. He's got it in him. All he needs is just to have that head firmly screwed on those shoulders, and we'll see better from him. Now you already know the history of the Eagles in the CHAN competitions. When they played first time out in South Africa some 4 years ago, a certain Rabiu Ali was in that team, and they made it all the way to the 3rd place. And they have wonderful players on that occasion. But good to know that in that team we had a player. 2 years ago we had people like Stephen Eze and Chima Akas, who was the captain of that team 2 years ago. This time around we have a lot of new players, but some experience to perhaps push them along.
A free kick given away by Aqua United midfielder Ifeanyi. Very mobile midfielder, it's got to be said. Wherever Ifeanyi is, well, there's a lot of running to be done, both with and without the ball. They're knocking it to the edge of the Nigerian box, but it's Ariwa who does the cleaning up business. And Rabiu will go all the way back to goalkeeper ARIWACHUKWU Emmanuel. Well, Samuel Matias gives it away to the consternation of the crowd, who chips it. Well, Benin was trying to look for the forward route, but the pace on the ball a bit too much for Ibrahim Ogolola.
There you see the big number 9 talking about Kingsley Eduo using his massive frame for advantage there. Keeps pushing his bodies around, causing some sort of confusion among the central defenders of the opposing, breaking them down. Hopefully in time to come, the very fast and nippy Stephen Ode might just do havoc.
What was Eduo trying to do there? He nearly did it very well. I didn't see an opportunity, but he did. I thought that was...
There you see the big number 9 talking about Kingsley Eduo using his massive frame for advantage there. Keeps pushing his bodies around, causing some sort of confusion among the central defenders of the opposing, breaking them down. Hopefully in time to come, the very fast and nippy Stephen Ode might just do havoc.
What was Eduo trying to do there? He nearly did it very well. I didn't see an opportunity, but he did. I thought that was wayward, but he was incisive and precise and nearly cut out goalkeeper Steve Glodginan. And Nigeria still with an opportunity. It is Stephen Ode and the kick out of that.
A while ago, you talked about you didn't see any opportunity. But then that's the vision of a good striker. And he saw all of that and knew that the goalkeeper wasn't in his line. There was an opportunity to chip goalkeeper Steve Glodginan. He almost did it. Wonderful thinking, brilliant thinking on the part of
Eduo. And he was quite some distance. That's the Beninois footballing legend, Omar Chomogo. Just 39 years of age. And he is already coach of this team. He started out as the assistant in 2015 when Benin failed to qualify. Benin have actually not qualified for any edition of the Championship for African Nations. Good turn that time, but foul given away again by Ifeanyi.
Talking about Chomogo, when they qualified for their first Nations Cup in 2004, well, this time we have a card. Ifeanyi finally walked his way into the referee's bad books for that ungentlemanly conduct.
He's really been very visible in this encounter, giving away quite a few passes, but also been precise with some of them. But that time, he got his knee in the midsection of Fasino. Painful.
Afiz Aremu is another player who does that for this team. But unfortunately, Afiz is not on the pitch today, but was on the pitch last week during the first leg. Perhaps in time to come, Ifeanyi might just give way for Afiz having copped a yellow card. And we just saw a player who hasn't had the best of times today, talking about Economist Matthias Samuel. A few passes he's put astray. That notwithstanding, a brilliant footballer he is on his day.
A brilliant footballer he might be, but he's giving away a free kick in a dangerous position. Can the Squirrels take advantage? They might be called the Squirrels and the Super Eagles, might be Eagles, but as has been shown from the first leg, Squirrels do cause harm. And Nigeria goes away now on the counter-attack. It's 2 against 3. Osas Okoro joining the attack, but trying to go all alone. Eventually, he gets a free kick. That's Stephen Ode, who did a smart thing, tried to take it through the middle of 2 defenders, and they had to do the needful.
Stephen Ode, they're not clever enough. Perhaps he thought he'd done enough to get the ball past Gaston Hongbeji, but Gaston sort of impeded Ode's movement. As a result, conceding a free kick just in front of the 18 yard, about 22 yards from goalkeeper Steve Glodginan's goal line. And let's see if Rabiu Ali could weave this in, or it would be a blaster from Chima Akas.
But I mean, those are 2 of the 3 candidates there. Osas Okoro has been known to score them direct from that distance. Everyone keenly waiting to see what will happen. None more than Steve Glodginan, who's been beaten once today. If this second goal goes in, believe me, it will raise the roof, because that will put Nigeria ahead on aggregate. Bending over the wall is the crucial part of this, and this is Osas into the wall. I thought that was into somebody's hand there, but referee Wakine Sono deciding there was nothing doing there. And that's Rodriguez holding off Akas. Akas is yet to command the left side of that Nigerian attack.
Not at all. A lad who showed so much promise some 2 years ago, but I mean, he's been quiet ever since. Where the potential has gone to, I simply do not know. But he's got it in him to hit pile drivers with that left foot of his.
Trying to do it a bit too quickly. And where eventually he gets it to Al Hassan Ibrahim, but didn't want to commit a foul, so he quickly allowed the ball to go. That is Eze. And the ball played forward, but too far away, too far forward from Stephen Ode. Hassan also could have received the ball, and he acknowledges the idea behind the pass, and that will be a free kick to that is of course Dine, that's the captain of Pardon, Sebu Mama. He got the goal in the first leg, a backbreaker it turned out to be at that time.
That was schoolboyish on his part. That ball was never in any dangerous position. The center circle, all he had to do was just let it go. But he decided to handle the ball, cuddle the ball more like a goalkeeper, not leading by an example in that occasion, Mama Shaibu.
Bennett. That was sweetly done by Akas to get rid of his man. And he successfully as well gets rid of the ball. Great skill on the touchline. That's by Stephen Ode, but ball went out of play before he brought it back in. And he just doesn't score goals, does he? He does have an eye, you know, for the pass as well, and he does handle the ball nicely.
He's a player who feeds off the clever passes of other attackers. He does it well in Lagos alongside Olatubosun, but Olatubosun is on the bench today. But if given an opportunity, he keeps probing and probing until he finally strikes the net. That's how he managed to have, you know, conspired to have scored 16. We saw him trying to weave the ball. Unfortunately, the entire circumference of the ball went off the line. No surprises, the referee called back for a throw-in against Stephen Ode.
Well, initially, it did look good seeing him have that skill to get beyond the two men in the first place. But just his momentum carried him out of the pitch. And the officials saw that. So Bennett, that is the hard man's job done on Degnon Kogbo by Emmanuel Ariwa. Lots of Beninois playing in the Nigeria Professional Football League. This championship for African nations is for players playing only in their domestic league. If not, the Beninois players in Nigeria would have been eligible. The likes of Isaac Lute, there's Antonino Usu, there's Solomon Jr., and of course several others more. There's Patankono as well at Aqua United, all Beninois players. This is a free kick in a dangerous position, and it is Rodriguez Fascino. He has a shot on him, and he decides to chip to the edge of the 6-yard of the penalty box. But a succession of wayward headers eventually ending in Nigeria putting the ball upfield. That's a free kick. Again off Sebu Mama. He's got to be careful.
If I is quick thinking, and that free kick for the Super Eagles off the hand of Captain Mama Shebu, who's not having the best of games here as a captain. He's been able to walk himself into the referee's bad books as in a yellow, and on this occasion, yet again handling the ball. Seems to be very generous as regards handling this ball here today.
He's got to be careful, as is Ifani, who's also booked. I don't think I've seen too many wayward balls from Samuel Matthias. There should be an opportunity, but he's offside. Kingsley Eduo. He was really trying to sort his feet out, but the flag had long gone up.
Now, if the Eagles have to score another goal, they need to try these short passes of theirs, as you see on this occasion again. There you see Kingsley Eduo generously being in an offside position and easily picked out by AR1 on this occasion.
That's Jose Antonio Andewe, also from Equatorial Guinea. The four officiating officials here from Equatorial Guinea, with the match commissioner Luleseged Bagasho Asfor from Ethiopia. Nigeria tried to build again, but beautifully laundered by the Beninois defense. That should be a free kick, and it is. That's Degnon Kogbo. Kogbo has been very, I mean, he's a very mobile footballer, and he does know how to get advantages like set pieces for his side.
Yeah, but check on this question by Emmanuel ARIWACHUKWU. You know, Emmanuel sticks to him like white on rice. He's not been able to move. I like the tag marking on the part of the Super Eagles players. But should you leave these players, they could be deft and could be dangerous.
That's what the players are supposed to be, deft and dangerous. And that ball gets beyond the cast. An opportunity to turning left and right, and that is the right thing done, if you ask me, by Rabiu Ali. He didn't know what was behind him, and he elected for the safety of touch. Corner kick, the first to Benin Republic. After 40 minutes of action, just 5 minutes of the halftime break, corner driven, can't clear Ali, who gets the ball, hoops it away from danger. Can Nigeria build anything from this counter-attack? Ali received the pass, and all he needed was a return pass. But Samuel Matias, who is having a horrible first half so far, could not control. Is it? Can Nigeria finish what they thought they had started? A minute ago, but Ali dallied on the ball too long, and the chance went a-begging again.
Ibrahim Ogolola. We see Imama Makabo, the assistant coach, talking to his senior partner there, Salisu, about the lads. They don't need to put on more pressure. Remember, the game is still tied at 1-1. Those short passes of theirs might just earn them a result as Salu goes the ground. But if we felt it was fair play. After 40 minutes, it's still 1-0 in favor of the home-based Eagles. The goal scored in the first minute by no other person, our own boy, Rabiu Ali, the man they've nicknamed Pelé to this city.
Ali is an absolute veteran, and that's the ball chip forward, and the goalkeeper comes and fails to get there. Just no Nigerian head or leg waiting to connect. Could have been two, but the diving action of the goalkeeper put off the run of Edouard. He could have been the receiving end there, and that was skillfully off. Osaso Kuro throw in, but that should have been two, Mike.
That really should have been two, but there was so much power in that pull out there by Chima Akas. Edouard couldn't get there on time. But good work on the part of Godino. His attempt at saving it put off the attacker.
There the Nigerians go again, and the referee, yeah, he saw that. It was a foul on Ode, great running from the MFM attacker, and the man who is at fault is Nabil Yaro. He's trying to protest his innocence, but he knows he's guilty as sin. He knew exactly what he was doing because Ode had the run on him.
Trust footballers, they know how to commit an offense and feign innocence. In fact, they swear to you that they were never close to the ball. That was what we saw Nabil Yaro do there. He, unsportsmanlikely, pushed Ode aground and yet raised his hand in defense as if he didn't know where Ode came from.
You could see that he knew exactly what he was doing. Ode, great even without the ball. He sees open spaces and he creates the opportunities for his teammates. Is this going to be a cast? Yes! And that's kept just off inside the inside of the post. It was a superb effort from the set piece. Everyone here thought that was going to nestle on the opposite side of the net. But they were very, very lucky indeed, the Squirrels. That was a superb strike from the Enyimba left back. It's what he does bring to this team.
You know, I've been waxing lyrical about his famous left foot. We just saw a little bit of it on this occasion. Now look at the run up to the ball. And he whacked it with that famous left foot. Now goalkeeper Steve Gladney just died for diving's sake. The ball hit the upright, across goal, and out it went. Would otherwise have been talking about the second goal in this encounter, Casey.
And it would have been a fantastic one because Steve Gladney, he actually went on a full dive there and he couldn't get there. Just the ball beat the keeper, but could not beat the post. Header by Okoro, who gets the return pass. They loses possession to Benin, eventually recoups it and promptly loses it again. Deknon. Nigeria again. It is a duo. He gets past his man beautifully. Into the 18-yard box, and that was very close indeed. I don't think the Beninois defender knew what was happening there. The ball came off the back of his foot. Great skill shown by a duo to get in between them. But Yaro eventually, luckily seeing the ball cannon off his boots and into the grateful gloves of Steve Glodginon. Rabiu Ali. Ifan Osas lifts it behind. And going through the back of the Benin player is the goal scorer, Rabiu Ali. And he gets booked for his troubles. The home fans love him. He is their talisman when he plays for Kano Pillars. And they are not happy that he's been booked just 1 minute before the halftime break. Two Nigerian players on a booking, Ali and Ifani. The man booked for the Beninois is the captain, Sebo Mama. An almost full house at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Those are players of Kano Pillars, the team that owns this ground. As you see, confirmation there that we will have just 60 seconds to be added at the end of the first 45. Al Hassan finds a duo out on the left this time. And he plays the ball in there, but the run of Ibrahim couldn't yield much. But a duo recruits possession for Nigeria. And it's a chance, and another strike, but this time over the top from Rabiu Ali. He has this burst of speed, and he can turn on a 9-pence and shoot with hardly any backlift. That time, a little too much backlift, got his foot underneath, and the ball flew wide over the top. And that's it as far as the first half is concerned at the Sani Abacha Stadium. It's been a half largely dominated, as you would expect, by the home side, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They could have had more than the one goal scored by this man, Rabiu Ali, in the 22nd minute. That's Super Eagles A-team coach, Gernot Rohr, the Franco-German, as they call him. He's been with this team. The player coming on is Gaston Hongbeji. He's been substituted, and Jules Lebede, the Nigerian-sounding name, is coming on to take his place.
Well, it's not new. We know of a lot of players of Nigerian descent. You mentioned tons of them in the first half, just like Emmanuel Fabi, who also plays his local football here, could not get it. But then it does happen, as we see Elegbede Jules coming in. Let's see what his contribution will be, having taken the place of Gaston Hongbeji during the first 45 minutes.
Well, the second half has been started with the blast of the referee's whistle. This time around, it is Nigeria with the kickoff. Battle of attrition, you would expect in this second half. Two players down on the turf, right in front of referee Joaquin Esono from Equatorial Guinea. Benin Republic are looking for a first ever appearance in the Championship for African Nations, and Nigeria are looking for a third straight. Ball heaved, knocked into the Nigerian half of the pitch. In terms of chances, the Beninois have hardly had a sniff. Goalkeeper ARIWACHUKWU Emmanuel has not had to make any save of note in this encounter. He knocks a long one and finds Stephen Ode. That's actually a duo, but the referee decides that the ball went out before it was brought back in by Kingsley Eduo.
I'm also of the opinion that Kingsley Eduo was a little like a discount on that occasion. He could have well kept that ball into play, but sort of dilly-dallied and wasted so much time before bringing the ball into play. Well, sort of he has made amends sort of on this occasion by winning back possession.
So Nigeria goes down the right, Rabiu Ali. That's actually goal for Nigeria. That was out of the blue. Simply smacked from long way away. He's been trying to do that all game. And the Lobby Stars man, Kingsley Eduo, has given Nigeria the all-important second goal here that puts them ahead 2-0 today on the night and 2-1 on aggregate. And it does appear like the Super Eagles are heading to Kenya. That was a superb header into the bottom corner and nothing Glodgenon could do there.
Well, this kind of vindicates the selection of Coach Salisu Yusuf and Imama Makababo. What about that? He flung his entire frame at the ball and made sure he powerfully nodded it. Goalkeeper Glodgenon couldn't do much to stop Kingsley Eduo as the Lobby Stars goal poacher scores goal number 2 for Nigeria here today. And
that looks like setting Nigeria firmly on the way to the Championship for African Nations, unless the Beninois could cost them grief. And 2 players tumbling to the floor. The first of them, Samuel Matias. A surprise to me that he still had to come out in the second half because he really had an awful first half. Al-Hassan Ibrahim is making the point to referee Osono that he was elbowed, you could see there, by Degnon Kokbo.
Yes, Degnon Kokbo was very generous with his elbow on that occasion. He gave Matthias Samuel a dose of it. And Matthias, who's been the grafter here today, went aground, but he's a very tough lad. I'm not surprised he's up on his feet as we see goalkeeper, as we are backing out instructions at his players. A captain who leads by example.
Despite that elbow, it is the Beninois who have the free kick. And the man standing over it is Seydou Mama. He got the only goal in that first. It's a one-man wall enough. He swings it to the far post, but the header will knock it out of the 18-yard box for Nigeria. In fact, it was a Beninois head, and Nigeria will get themselves a throw-in.
The transformation of Osaso Okoro from an attacking winger into a winger beats me. He just took to it like white on rice. A marauding wing back he sort of become. That's marvelous conversion there on the part of Coach Imama.
Absolutely fantastic. I think they simply continued from where Rangers International of Enugu stopped, because that was where he was first converted. It was Imama, like you mentioned, who did it. The national team had last well, why don't we continue? Remember, Ifeanyi George on the bench also did a similar thing for Enyimba, before he went to Rangers and was restored back up front.
Where he has distinguished himself very well, effectively with goals in the second stanza of this league, talking about Ifeanyi George.
In fact, if the champions actually escape the relegation, you can see that they really do a whole lot of stuff voodoo-wise, the Beninois fans, and there you see their talisman with a pot of juju. That looks like a true run and goal for Stephen Ode, but Oduo has been found offside, and that's Carlos Ntutumu, the assistant referee 2, who caught the Lobby Stars man offside. It was goal. For now, looking like it could fire Nigeria all the way to Kenya next year.
It looks like it, but I'm beginning to see, the attack. He uses his body. Look at how he shielded the defender there, waiting for Ode to feed off the ball. Now that's how you play African football. One big man and a small man alongside him.
Great observation. And the Beninois, really, they're struggling to really string together any, to hang on to any meaningful possession. The Nigerians are not letting them. That's one great thing I will have to say for Samuel Matias. Even though he's not had too many useful touches, one thing is he harries you. He doesn't let you relax in possession. There is he on the ball. And this time, again, he found Al-Hassan. And it is Ariwa. Rabiu, back to Stephen Eze. Great recovery from Al-Hassan. Fantastic football. Good skill by the Akwa United midfielder.
There's some continuity. Al-Hassan Mwazam, alongside his fellow midfielder Ifeanyi, were a member on the 20 national team, where Ifeanyi Nwobodo was a member. Injury, a combination of injuries and other factors made some of them not attend the Under-20 World Cup. Ifeanyi did make it, but Mwazam did not make it. Nwobodo did not make it too out of injuries. But the good thing about all of this is that all of them are marshalling their way to the Super Eagles, alongside Ndidi, who today plays for Leicester.
Dine Kupere shoved powerfully off the ball by Kingsley Eduo. One thing you've got to give Eduo, he is solid on the ground. I mean, he's so well built and built like a tank. To shield him off the ball is quite a job. But if he's the one needing to shield you, he does it effortlessly, more or less.
That's the essence of this game. And that was what the likes of Didier Drogba and Rashidi Yekini benefited from playing football in Africa. Use your massive frame to your advantage. And Eduo had doses of it here today.
But Nigeria might be 2-0 up here, but you would think they need a breathing space and the insurance of a third goal. Again, the ball given away by Samuel Matias, because if the Beninois were to pull a goal back here, then Nigeria runs the risk of being eliminated on the away goals rule. So a third goal, absolutely important.
Definitely important. They got an insurance goal. Now I think these Beninois are very generous with their hands. On this occasion, we saw Jules Elegbede generous with his elbow yet again. But the referee has been very, very lenient, in my opinion, with them and their free-flying hands.
That's a new one of me, free flying hands. I tend to like that, Mike. Yeah, they've really been putting those hands. A superb skill by Kingsley Eduo. Lifts the defender for dead. He tips it. It's just unfortunate that the final ball there was not the right one. Great skill earlier showed by Eduo. Got the fans standing.
Kingsley has sort of matured. It's sort of like wine. He's becoming better with age. Look at the ease, the skill with which he oozed that ball. And that's the big man. What about this? Practically lifted that ball off Nabil Yero and left him in his wake.
Yero wouldn't want to see that replay. They made him walk out of him.
And that's enough to decamp a player.
That was in those days, I guess, Mike.
Very true.
Matias should be my #1 candidate if Nigeria wants to effect a change, as they try to go for a third goal here that will practically bury Benin Republic. That's curious attempt at clearance. Didn't come off for Benin Republic. That's how it's done. Rabi Ali shows him. Ifeanyi chips, looking for Al-Hassan Ibrahim, but it is behind. It's actually Osas Okoro pushing his man out of the way, and the referee says play on. Al-Hassan Ibrahim with an opportunity on the edge of the area, and Nigeria is still keeping it alive through Okoro. He tries to cross, but it is charged down, and Beninois, they come off with it. They really just can't counter, because everywhere they look, they see green shirts. That scares them, and they keep going back towards their own goal, and that's where Nigeria wants them to be.
Very true, and it shows how fit and athletic the Nigerian Eagles are. You know, they've practically covered everywhere on this pitch. They are not stagnant. However, in all of this, referee has sort of stopped the game because one of them is down, and the referee is telling Ode that, listen, let's bring you up, as Ode is now up. I admire your fitness level. Speaks much about the work they put into this game.
But to be honest, some of these players, several of them have played for the men Super Eagles team. The one that is taking part in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers for 2019 in Cameroon. You can see the scoreline there. Nigeria 2, Benin 0. Goals from Rabiu Ali and, of course, Kingsley Eduo after 47 minutes. That's a forward ball now. It's an opportunity for Eduo. He's got to play as a bit. He decides to chip for Ode, but that's was not well done. He might be good at getting the balls in behind the goalkeepers, but in terms of the assist, I don't think that is a strong point.
The shot could have done better than what he did there. There were many options. He mustn't have attempted to give it to Stephen Ode on that occasion. But even like that, he could have done that a lot better.
Well, I thought he was going to switch it, into a reverse pass on the ground for Ode. Chipping it up there, it was always going to be 50-50, and Ode couldn't get any purchase on the ball. That's the Beninois substitute, Jules Elegbede, who gets a throw. Rodriguez Fascino, it is, but that's a foul by Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi's got to be careful. That's what the referee is telling him. He's been on a yellow card since the first half, and they pulled down his opposite number, Ibrahim Ogolola, that time.
But football is a physical game. It's a contact sport, and Ifan is trying to be as fair. For me, that's one of the greatest imports. Before now, he wasn't this physical, but in the last 12 months, he added that physicality into his game.
That looks dangerous. It had to be cut out and was eventually by Chima Akas. It took a deflection and was bouncing rather dangerously towards the edge of that 6-yard box, but Akas stuck out that his left foot and put it into touch. That's the third corner now for Benin Republic. They've not done anything with the first two. Can they produce something to be talked about with this latest set piece?
Institution and MFM's danger man Sikiro Latubosu is the player that's going to come in, and Matthias Samuel, dogged midfielder who's been able to pull his weight around here, is the player that's coming out, not to the surprise of many. He's not had the best of games, however he's contributed his bit, as we see Sikiro Latubosu, a nifty left-footed attacker taking his place.
But that man you're seeing there, the Nigerian substitute on Latubosu, was voted as the man who scored the best goal in the world, believe it or not, in February 2017. A poll conducted by Cable News Network, CNN. His strike against the champions, Rangers International, on a day the 1-2-1, was voted as the goal of the month for February 2016.
And Casey, fortunately, I was there to see that game live as a commentator. When the ball was given in by Stephen Ode, he chipped in one moment of brilliance. Eti Matthew, who was Rangers' captain, and in a volley sent the ball to the opposite direction. Goalkeeper Itodo in Rangers' goal did not even move. That's how deft and how skillful this player is. We'll get to see some of that here today, as Ifan, in the spirit of fair play, gives the ball back to the Le Cruel, as they call them in Benin Republic.
And that was actually, that goal by Olatuboso was actually a spectacular one. On that day, this man was coach of Rangers. I remember Mapakabo long left the Flying Antelopes now as Fascino.
So good was that goal that when Bobby scored a goal, a consolation goal for Rangers, beautiful goal, it wasn't counted, I mean, as in beauty, because of the how marvelous that by Olatubosun was. It was a day of marvelous goals.
As they say, there is beauty and there is beauty. That was stylishly knocked into touch by Ifani. Nigeria's past victims in qualification for this competition have been Cote d'Ivoire in 2013 and Burkina Faso in 2015. This is 2017. Benin going to be Nigeria's latest qualifying victims. Nigeria now looking like an opportunity. This is a straight route of goal for the substitute of Latubosu, but the pace was a bit too much, and the defender, he is very angry. Nabil Yaro, his man had a slip there, and he's saying, well, you should have covered me. That should never have happened. Nigeria looking for that third goal, and great movement cut short there eventually by Yaro. Yaro has really done a great job at the back for the Squirrels. Safety first it is, as far as Rodriguez Fascino is concerned. Didn't want to mess around with a duo in tow.
And he should do that, because we've just had Olatubosun enter. Olatubosun feeds on short, quick passes. Now that's it, not it. You want a return. That is how he plays his game. And should you blink, you just put the ball behind you.
But that's what Olatubosun can bring. The Nigerian move breaks down. A free kick to Benin. That's because Chabel Gomez and Ibrahim Ogolola were both fouled in quick succession.
Now, Chima Akas it was, who unprofessionally did that. That was against Chabel Gomez.
Nabi Yaro has really done a marvelous job at the back there. And this time around, he tries to put Gomez in a forward position. Gomez can't see any yellow shirts, but this time he does see a chance there, and that needed to be saved. Well, it is a penalty to Benin Republic. The fans here are in shock, but We'd love to see what referee Joaquin Esono has seen. Exactly what we were talking about earlier, about the importance of getting a third goal for Nigeria. Eze has his hands on his head. You can see here, there didn't look to be much happening. That was what happened. Eze was the final effort, but it had come off the hands of Stephen Eze. It does look harsh. I've seen them given though.
Yeah, I've seen them given. I've seen the Benin fans. They are up in numbers. Well, their Sangoma here seem to have his hands tied and spot on. But then he's wanting to concede a penalty. He's wanting to play a penalty in order to convert it. Stephen Eze, not a happy man this moment. Well, let's see what the outcome will be.
The big problem here for Nigeria, they did lose the first leg match with a goal scored in the second half by Sebo Mama, and now they've got to defend another penalty, and believe you me, I think Sebo Mama will be relishing another attempt to strike this one again beyond Ikechukwu Ezenwa. Look at it from the reverse angle. Well, I think that leaves no one in any doubt. Maybe a trailing hand, maybe you can't cut off the hand. Like I said, it may look harsh to some, particularly the fans here. I've also seen them given.
Yeah, it's a penalty. He didn't fold his hands behind his body, but that hand was flailing, and when the ball hit it, I mean, it's justified. It's part of the learning curve for Stephen Eze. Next time, you wrap your hands around your body.
In Cotonou last weekend, it was the impressive Afiz Aremu who gave away a penalty with a minute left, and today is the impressive Stephen Eze who's given away a penalty, though just past the hour mark. After consultations, it is Ikechukwu Ezenwa once again against the same man who scored against him last weekend, Sebu Mama. This is a battle of wits. Nigeria's #1 against Benin Republic's #8. Who wins the battle? He does the eye job. A shot run up, it will be, and that was a fantastic save by Ezewa. He thwarts Benin Republic and keeps Nigeria firmly on the route to Kenya 2018 Championship for African Nations. His hands on heads time for Benin Republic and their coach Omar Tomoko. The fans here are absolutely elated. A superb save, ball struck low, and great coming off the line. If you are Ikechukwu Ezenwa, superb save.
Not surprised, I've seen this lad perform heroics on this pitch as goalkeeper for Sunshine Stars against Kano Pillars. And this time around, I see him wonderfully punching this ball out. The point about it was he stood on his line till the very last moment, and he saved all of that. But why the referee seemed to be giving him a word about all of this, I seem not to understand. It's a corner kick for the Beninois, but wonderful save by a captain who's led by example here today.
But that's actually, Nigeria is trying to effect a change of your view. The Nigerians are trying to make reinforcements before this corner is taken, at least to break the rhythm of the attacks by the Beninois, and that I think is a good substitution, because this man has been on a yellow card, has been involved in a couple of niggling challenges in this second half. Ifeanyi, he will be replaced by Raphael Ayagwa from Lobby Stars.
Now I think this change is spot on. Ifeanyi has been able to contribute his bit. He's on a yellow, so to play safe, Ifeanyi has had to go out. Let's see the workman like Raphael Ayagwa take his place.
Ball heaved into the Nigerian 18-yard box, but header knocking it out of the danger zone. I wonder why the referee is Sono. Who is he going to book now? He books Al-Hassan Ibrahim. To the house of Drisian from the stands.
Well, the offense here is that after he'd blown that whistle, Mwazam kicked the ball out forcefully. So he felt that was insubordination, and that shouldn't be gross indiscipline. And for that, Al-Hassan Mwazam has worked his way into the referee's bad books.
That's for petulance, no less. A duo this time getting the throw. he really is a very, you know, a fast-thinking footballer, Kingsley Eduo. He may not be doing so well in making passes and assists, but he really does very, very well when he is in a forward position. He really does know how to keep defenders on their toes. This is Rabiu Ali. He may have done too much, but he manages to get the ball to Ode, whose pass is not the very best, and Benin come away with the ball. They just can't hang on to it for any appreciable length of time. Acres of space here to work with for Rabiu Ali. Muazzam just booked. Switching to the edge of the box. It is Olatubosu. A chance for a strike there. Ball bubbling around. Eventually they hook it away from danger. It's really been a frenetic game at times here. And superb back heel. Olatubosu again. That is not the best chip in the box from the Nigerian substitute. Seibu Mama still feeling the effects of that missed penalty, coming backwards and to do a great job.
I like the pressure that the Eagles are beginning to put on the Squirrels. While we witness another substitution, we have seen the last of Waris Aboki. Aboki Waris having to leave the pitch at this time, and taking his place will be Kola Raimi. Let's see the contribution of this player with more like a Nigerian name, Kola Raimi. Reminds me of their team of 2004. They had Jonas Oketola, who did play for Enyimba and later Kwara United. And we have Muri Egumbi, both players who played their league games in Nigeria, played for the Benin national team.
Nigeria has got themselves a corner kick. 3 corners apiece for the two teams. In the 70th minute is Osas Okoro to drive this one. A better delivery to the edge of the box. Olatubosu's head is there. The goalkeeper comes and can't get there. And that was almost smuggled in on the line. But goalkeeper Steve Glodgenon eventually getting back to save. And this is a chance for Benin. The player went down in the box. Chance not completely gone. Eventually is cleared. Nigeria living very dangerously indeed. Ball crossed back to the 18-yard box. Benin keeps up the pressure. They believe they can get something in this game, but eventually Nigeria comes away with it, and this is their chance for the break. Benin have committed too many players forward. Nigeria now down the right. That is Ode. Got into the 18-yard box, but the chance is still kept alive there. Nobody to pick up the pieces. And that was a strike, still not there, but side netting eventually. That was very, very close indeed for Nigeria. So many opportunities in just one attack, and all were fluffed. And I think Stephen Ode may have caught an injury.
Stephen Ode had this. He tried to weave his hair and powerfully get in, but then he couldn't trip the ball past goalkeeper Steve Glodgenon. Now this Olatubosu with an opportunity. He was waiting for a teammate perhaps to spin in. He hit a shot, but an offside position Ode touched it the second time, picked up an offside position as the jubilant fans of the Eagles are just waving and having the time of their lives. However, they could do with another goal, which I would consider an insurance goal.
Nigeria Professional Football League top scorer Stephen Ode down with an injury. The fans here pensive. They understand the mathematics surrounding this second leg final round qualifier. Right now, it's Nigeria who will be heading to the Championship for African Nations, vantage positions all around the stadium for different categories of non-paying fans this time around. You cannot accuse them of having broken any law.
Not at all. Bird's eye view they've chosen to have had from your house, positioned very close to this, an advantage of living, as you see the VIP box. And amongst there, you just saw Gennett Raw, Super Eagles coach. At halftime, he did go down to give a pep talk to the Super Eagles.
But Nigeria actually does have a massive World Cup qualifier against Cameroon coming up in Uyo on the 1st of September. And, well, Gennett Raw will be looking at this cast right in his front to check if anyone will be able to make the cut for that all-important game. Victory in that game for Nigeria, absolutely important, just like this one.
As we see Osas Okoro, he was bundled aground. He's a very tough lad, very experienced. He thought he had the ball and was about to go, but he was hurried to the ground there by Chabel Gomez. An elbow was donated on his head.
Yeah, as if you would want that sort of donation, Mike. But the Nigerian supporters club, they don't really mind what they are seeing here, giving them a whole lot of joy. As it is, they will be headed to Kenya as well in just 5 short months. Oeduo crowded out by yellow shirts, and the ball is cleared eventually. They tried to go route one, but it's Emmanuel Ariwa. He has really played very well today, alongside the emergency centre-back partner, Stephen Eze. Omar Chomogo must be wondering, how could we have got that penalty and not put it away? It does happen in this game of football. ARIWACHUKWU EMMANUEL was thinking of how he could be beaten in 2 separate legs of 1 qualifier by the same player, and he came up tops. Free kick to Nigeria.
A fast learner, he's shown himself to be. He got beaten. What about this for skill from Al Hassan Ibrahim, the man they call Muazzam? A wonderful player he is. Sublime ball, sublime first touch he has. And he's been able to exemplify. He's one of the few players from this that might make it when the big boys come around. Tried as he did, the Latubosun couldn't keep that ball into control as it goes out for a goal kick. The MFM marksman got a sharp left foot, a very good boss when it comes to pace. The Frenchman will call that vitesse. While a duo means strength will become puissant. And you need both of this if you're a very diligent attacker, the one that contributes goals to your team. Some of the qualities we've been able to see here today, however, the Eagles could short do with another goal.
Absolutely. As Nigeria hacks one away. Nigeria just have about a quarter of an hour to hang on to the current lead they have to enable them qualify for the Championship for African Nations. Substitution, Rangers international forward Ifeanyi George will come on to take the place of the injured Stephen Ode, who's not been able to overcome that calf injury he suffered about 5 minutes ago. As the referee notices an infringement inside the Nigerian box and gives the Super Eagles a free kick. Ode doing the rounds on the bench, young player, double figures last season, 18 goals this season, 4 matches to break Fonodor's 23-goal record. May not look likely, but this is a real breakout season for him.
Not been a bad season for the young lad, who is not done too badly here today. But then he's giving way to Ifeanyi George, a player that has exploded, especially in second stanza of the league this season. The referee's whistle has gone just before that shot that otherwise would just have been another goal. That was a wonderful shot there, taken by Rabiu, but then referee's whistle went way before that. As we see Ifeanyi George's contribution, very prolific lad. Last season was in the books of Eyimba, but traced his way to Rangers International, where he scored some crucial goals, especially from the second stanza of this season's league.
Let's see what Ifeanyi George can produce. He has got a bit of pace on him, and he knows the route to go. Degnon Kokpo has really been restricted in this second half. Well, that was a slip that could have been costly for the Squirrels, but they recovered just in time. That was Yaru Nabil, who's done a great job for them. But that looks, thought Rabi Ali was going to latch onto that. Fascino, Yaru. Yaru kicked that one off the substitute George. Fascino with the throw, quite a long heave, and in return, a powerful header out by ARIWACHUKWU. The man cut offside was Kokpo.
Well, the referee allowed Kokpo to get very close, almost touch the ball before he raised his flag, as it is done, because he wouldn't be considered in an offside position until he eventually gets into play. 3 offsides on the part of Nigeria, and just this like Kwokwo or Republic of Benin. 3-1 as in offside. That's the measure of the pressure so far. But then the Beninois in the last 3 minutes have had some possession, beginning to show hunger and purpose there.
I don't know how much time they've got to get a goal. That's a very painful one, really, into the back of the head by George. He's not afraid of getting stuck in. Well, that was dangerous, really.
No matter both players went up to protect themselves. Nabil Yero as well as Ifeanyi Onwubiko George. But then referee felt Ifeanyi was the guilty party.
From that replay, really did look like the referee was right. Rabiu Ali knocking it into touch. He may have been below par in the first leg, but certainly he's played a huge part in the lead here today.
Yeah, his experience has really come to play. But then they could translate some of that and their dominance into goals.
I think what these players need is they just need more games, because you see the moves here. At times they get it right, at times they don't. So consistency, you know, in playing these sort of top quality games will really put them at the level where they want to be.
I agree with you. Soon after the first leg, the Beninois team was able to play 2 matches. And of course, they were high-scoring matches. Some authorities felt that was a morale booster for them, as Eagles could only defeat Kano Pillars by a lone goal, converted by Stephen Ode, while their Beninois counterpart played more than a game. But all of that had turned out to be just match practice. And the Eagles have been able to show that their one friendly game has so far been enough after 79 minutes here today.
Well, let's see if it will be enough right to the end. Mama Bayere, another who's tried to do a yeoman's job at the back there, not quite succeeded because their defense line has been breached on 2 occasions. 2 goals of top quality from Rabiu Ali in the 22nd and Kingsley Duo after 47 minutes, and that header had to come. Else, either of Duo or Ifeanyi George were waiting to pick up the pieces. Again, it's Nabil Yaro.
Yeah, Nabil just nipped that in the ball because Eduo was waiting for that pull-out, well set out. But then it shows how alert Nabil Yero has been, how important he's been to this team.
Well, it's knackered, I can tell you. You see him struggling for air there. The run of Eduo, superb.
Not only Eduo was there, Alassane Mwazam was also there. That shows the hunger in these players to perhaps get the backbreaker, so to say.
This is Nigeria's 4th corner. The previous 3 come to naught. Again, it's Osasokoro. Great one, players climbing in the box there. A chance to make it 3. Yes, it is. But the flag is up. It's the substitute, Olatubosu. Flag is up. And celebrations that started on the Nigerian bench and was transmitted right around the stadium died down in disappointment.
And that celebration was raised by Dele Ajiboye in goal, as we see it yet again. Now, as at this moment, won the ball there. Kingsley wasn't an offside position, but referee felt. But I thought this was questionable. I thought this was a questionable decision. Olatubosun was not up, but then the second referee, AR2, felt he was in an offside position. And of course, it's his authority to do that.
That was one talking point for the Nigerians. If anything untoward was to happen in these last 10 minutes, barring time to be added at the end of the 90. Nigeria believe they could have scored a 3rd, which would have put them out of sight. They still might here. It's Olatubosun weaving his way in, and that strike, deflection. They're keeping up the pressure here. Rabiu Ali, adored by the fans here. That strike was headed for Steve Glodginon's post, but the head of Mama Bayere puts it over the top, and Nigeria has another corner. The last one led to a ball that ended in the back of the net. Illegally, according to the officials. Could this one be it?
Well, let's see if this might just be the Osasokoro goes for it. But I love the technique on the part of Rabiu there. His non-kicking leg was by the ball, and he let fly. That would have just zoomed into the net. But then, Bayere's head took it off for a corner kick.
The Benin players looking scared out of their wits. They are tired from the relentless Nigerian pressure, and they have to defend this set piece. It's a nightmare scenario for them, but lucky the Squirrels not the best delivery from Osas Okoro. Animated Nigerian bench as a duo talks out of turn, claiming there was a high boot there. He had better answer Mr. Esono. That's the spirit, Kingsley. 17 fouls committed by Nigeria. Now that's a problem I think the coaches have to work on. Nigeria has controlled this game from start till this moment, and yet they've conceded 7 fouls more. So that smacks of indiscipline. I think the coaches need to work on that.
No, you're quite right statistically, but then most of those fouls, the players have been complaining, just like Kingsley complained a short while ago, that it really wasn't against him. Well put, and I saw off camera, you saw the coach Imama telling Kingsley, take it easy, cool your temper, as Chomogo seemed to do the same thing. Chomogo has been able to keep his physique, just like when he stopped playing. It takes a lot of discipline for ex-footballers to do that. Not many can do that. But I tell you, the likes of Friday Lao, Friday Eko, and the rest of the Agali are still the way they are.
Chomogo, the Squirrels coach today, played in the best Squirrel teams of all time that reached their first Nations Cup in Tunisia in 2004 and in 2008 in Ghana, Nigeria. The only 2 times they have played in the Africa Cup of Nations. Confusion. They want to leave the free kick for the goalkeeper, ARIWACHUKWU Emmanuel. Yes, I think that was needless from the Nigerians. That's time wasting, and it's really sad.
But then the combo should have gone behind. He didn't give the allowance, so to say. Everyone was telling him, listen, you need to give me the needed allowance, but he didn't give. I expected the referee to have given Kobo. Now Imama is livid, especially with Ezinwa, because in the first place, Ezinwa had no right to come take that free kick.
Absolutely. He just picked up a needless booking, if you ask me. And that looked like players are going down on the penalty box there. A duo stays down. The referee has got to go over to see exactly. It seems he's got cramp.
Now there was Esduo making a nuisance of himself alongside Ifeanyi George. But Yero, who is your man in this defense, simply refused to let go on that occasion. And before the ball settled down, the goalkeeper had quickly booted that. Referee called back for a retake as Kingsley Eduo goes down. Perhaps a cramp, and it's been treated on the pitch. That might chop a few seconds off their time.
Well, I don't think he's play acting, actually. He also seems to have a cut on his knee. Maybe slid on a rough patch of synthetic turf. He's been let out. Nigeria's 3 changes have been completed. I know that guy cannot raw if he's looking to pick someone from this team. Eduo definitely, on the strength of today's performance, may be one of those candidates, and he wouldn't like to see the player go off injured.
Eduo is built like a tank. He'll survive this and even more. I'm sure he'll last the remaining 5 minutes or thereabout they have in this encounter.
That's a blatant push from Fashino.
And yet no card. And yet no card from that. That's what I've been saying. The Benin seem to have been a lot more lucky as regards decisions in this game. That's why when the statistics rolled out 17 in their favor against 10 Nigeria's favor, I felt it was somewhat unjust.
Dengnon Kokpo, the man dishing out the wrong, the harsh stuff. That was a blatant elbow into the back. Should have been a booking, if you ask me. So, with just 4 crucial minutes left here, it is Nigeria 2, Benin Republic 0. The game is flowing towards the right side of the field if you're a Nigerian fan, because they want that ball in that Beninois half.
Well, this is where teams need staying power. You need a lot of experience and concentration to last the remaining 3 minutes or thereabout of this game. And I'm sure we've got quite a few experienced lads on the pitch, especially the defense line of the Super Eagles. Osas was there 2 years ago during the finals of the tournament. SD1 has always been there and there, he's played with the Super Eagles. And Chima Akas was captain 2 years ago in an occasion where Chikatara shone like 1,000,001 stars. Casey.
Yes, of course, Chisom Chikatara, who plays for Wydad Casablanca of Morocco, was one of the top scorers at the last Championship for African Nations in Rwanda, where he finished with 4 goals, including a hat-trick against Niger Republic. His other strike came against Tunisia. Nigeria's 1-0 loss to Guinea, though, put paid to the aspirations and they crashed out at the group stage. In 2014, Nigeria finished 3rd. The big guns in African football yet to leave their mark on the Championship for African Nations. The opening edition